Hello and welcome to another anime lore and theory video. I'm Shergok, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at how the battle between Entoma Vasilisa Zeta and the Blue Roses happened in the first place, and why both sides made a huge mistake with this battle, one way or another. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as a thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's get to the topic at hand. The fight between the Blue Roses on one side and Entoma on the other was one of the strangest and most unnecessary battles in Overlord, simply because, fundamentally speaking, both sides were on the same team. However, it also represented one of the rare moments where troops from the Great Tomb of Nezarec, including one of the Pleiades battlemates, were defeated by regular people from the New World. And don't get me wrong, I understand that both Gargeran and Tina are extremely strong in the context of the New World. Adamant ranked individuals, people with levels in the mid to high 20s, are extremely rare in the world, and there were probably only a few dozen individuals in the entire kingdom, which once had 10 million inhabitants, who even could reach this level. But at least they reached it naturally, without Yggdrasil items, without power leveling, and without player blood flowing through their veins. And Evileye, even though she accidentally became undead due to a spell from Cure Elim Los Malvar, has gathered 200 years of experience and strength, allowing her to reach a level where she could defeat a NPC opponent from Yggdrasil Online, the so-called insect god. Hence she had the perfect counterspell for Entoma. And Entoma, on the other hand, was not prepared for a fight of this scale, but she was simply there to, let's call it, to do an escort mission. Specifically, her task was to search the villa, where Mare had broken in for important documents, clues, valuables, and papers, and take them while Mare dealt with Hilma and took her away. And by the end of this mission, the demons had already flown out, with the papers in bag, and Entoma was about to leave the villa as well, snack in hand, when she was confronted by Gargeran and Tina. And here the two made a fatal mistake in choosing to fight Entoma. Not only was Entoma uninterested in the fight, and clearly stronger than the two, but she also just wanted to complete her mission. However, Gargeran wasn't exactly the detective of the Blue Roses, and Tina unfortunately didn't understand or attempt to ask about the background of why the mate was carrying an arm, or what exactly she was doing here, or who she was loyal to. The assassin failed to gather enough information about her opponent beforehand, which again stands out as a mistake and in stark contrast to the strategy and the approach of Ein Soul Gone. And on the other hand, Entoma also failed to call for help in time. And the city was full of demons, meaning her fight would still not go unnoticed, so another shelter situation could basically be ruled out from the very beginning. But the demons of course needed time to realize what was going on and to question why Entoma had not returned, or where she had gone. As mentioned, not only Mare but also Entoma and the demons were under time pressure as well. And therefore without the provocation from the Blue Roses, Entoma would not even have been so willing to engage in the fight. And again, this is still Entoma's mistake, because Entoma tends to think in terms of a predator-prey relationship, instead of a strategic and tactic one. For instance, she even asked Yuri Alpha if she could spin her prey into a web in the cabin leading to the Great Tomb of Nezarec, which of course was denied, because this was an entry and the people entering there were not prey. Entoma also got hungry when she saw the defeated workers outside the gates of the Great Tomb, and she was cautioned not to snack on Ein Soul Gone's prisoners. And someone like Yuri Alpha, who is more composed, could have possibly de-escalated the entire situation, even with a human arm in hand, by stating who she was fighting. And Lupus Regina Beta, though let's call it a bit more airheaded, would still direct her sadism towards more productive goals and could keep up her mask, while Solution Epsilon probably wouldn't have been noticed as an opponent at all, given that she is an assassin and quite smart. So Entomar made the mistake of clearly identifying herself as an enemy by holding a human arm in her hand and nibbling on it like a chicken wing. In the end, both sides could have avoided the battle that neither of them truly wanted. And all of this led to Entomar's defeat. And the only reason why she survived wasn't due to her own strength, but rather because Demurge had realized what was happening. Presumably the demon had reported to him that Entomar was missing, and Demurge deducted that something had gone wrong. And so he rescued Entomar Vasilisa Zeta at the last second, because Tina was already preparing to deliver the finishing blow. And this event branded the entirety of the Blue Roses as enemies of the Sorcerer King. But the real tragedy, however, lies elsewhere, because Evileye, Gargaran and Tina on one side, and Entomar Vasilisa Zeta on the other, fought each other. But if you zoom out a bit, and look at what was actually supposed to happen, it becomes clear that this fight was entirely unnecessary, because Entomar and Evileye were essentially on the same side, considering the greater scope of things. Because both Evileye and the Blue Roses, as well as Entomar and the forces of the Great Tomb of Nezarec, had the same goal. Because from the perspective of the Blue Roses, from the perspective of Climb, and from Renna's faint view, the only way to effectively fight the Eight Fingers, which had been the enemy of both factions, was to break the law and act outside of legal boundaries, which they were technically forbidden to do, namely through vigilantism, combined with the violation of the neutrality of the Adventurer Guild, to which the Blue Roses were still bound. And at the beginning of Volume 5, we saw that the Blue Roses openly attacked the operation base of the Eight Fingers to gather information and to further combat the power of the organization and target its leadership. So they clearly made an enemy of this organization. And on the other hand, the entire demon invasion, including the appearance of the so-called demon Emperor Yaldabaoth, and the many raids occurred because the Eight Fingers dared to kidnap Turare, who was under the personal protection of Ein Soul Gorn. And this led to one of the rare moments when Eins, despite his emotion being suppressed, and despite technically unable to feel strong emotions like rage, asked Albedo in sheer anger to avenge this heinous attack. And originally, Yaldabaoth and his demons were not only supposed to force the Eight Fingers to submit to Nezarec, but they were also meant to completely eliminate them, if they were lucky. However, Demurge recognized how useful it would be to have an organization with a network that had already infiltrated and corrupted the entire underworld and even parts of the aristocracy, and that's why the plan was adapted. So in other words, the entire fight was unnecessary from both sides, and led to Evileye and company securing and earning the wrath of the Sorcerer King. And their escape from the collapsing kingdom of Riestais at the end of Volume 14, or Season 4, was a very, very wise decision, considering what Eins did to the Eight Fingers, even though he let them live, and what happened to the workers in the Great Tomb of Nezarec after they were caught. And with that said, that's already the end of the video, and now it's your turn. Let me know what you think about the video and about the fight down in the comment section. And please also check out my German channel, my fantasy channel, and if you don't want to listen to my voice or accent, but are still interested in the things I have to say, I have made an AI channel where I use AI voiceovers for my video. And the channels are all linked down in the video description. Also please check out my Patreon if you want to support me beyond just leaving a like or sub. And with that said, thanks you very much for watching, thanks to all of my Patreons for supporting this channel, and special thanks to Ada Daddy Ada, ASK, Bad Guy Ye, Bad Burrito 316, Bezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Dan Pep, Dragonlord Placido Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Thiralchivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Moreno, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch V. Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishiki and Rai, Lord Touch Me, Lofrazer, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Ruru, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Cune Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Sir Axolotl, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, Diorg Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Zinukai, and Sonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.